This time on Custom Works, we buy a whole new project car. But is it just a bit too good to cut up? Yeah, probably not. Let's get to the workshop. We're looking at a new taxi for a forthcoming project. Yes, it's a different shape. Yes, it's a little bit newer, but it's the right price and it's close to where I live as well. So, and it's got some MOT, so I can legally drive it home. So this is looking good. I'm going to discuss the price and then hopefully we will be the owners of this beautiful taxi. So let's go and do a deal. Right, so another taxi, another project, and a great deal. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Only thing is, it's almost too good to chop up. Okay then, so here it is. We've got a lovely taxi. We bought it, it's here, and you know what? This is all too nice. Look how clean this car is. If I just bought this, I'd be happy with this as a daily driver, but as you can see, Hot Rod legend Lee Cox is already stripping it down. And we're going to take this right down to the chassis. We're going to sell all the bits off it we can, and then we're going to build just the wildest car ever, and this one is not going to be a pickup truck. Okay then, so this morning, perfect running driving taxi that really was nice, really drove really smooth, everything was nice. I've ruined it essentially, just ruined it. Here it is, we've already started sectioning it up so we can just easily lift it out. Got the body lifted off of the chassis. So what we've got there is we jacked up the body, packed it off on some blocks of wood, so tomorrow we can cut through and get all of this off in nice little bits, leaving us with that lovely chassis that we're going to build. I'm not even going to tell you what we're going to build, but it's just going to be the most awesome car ever. So yeah, we'll get all that done, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have the engine and everything out, just a bare chassis ready for the start of the job. Now, one thing you've always got to think is, if you do want to build cars, now I have too many projects going, and it does seem like I've got a lot of projects, but meat wagon, that's just all bodywork, and I want to get on, so I have Hot Rod legend Lee Cox to come and help me, and what we're trying to do is get all the major mechanical work done on the 60s truck, which is just here, and this is still mechanical and fabrication. So there's, for what I really do, and anyone can do, well, not anyone, you need someone like Hot Rod legend Lee Cox. You know, fitting the air on that, Lee can do all of that, and then I can drop on this and do the bodywork. And why this is happening, this has got a lot of work. This is going to be on full AccuAir air ride, so you know there's just a lot of fabrication. It's going to have an engine swap, so it's going to have a 4.2 Jaguar straight 6 mounted in it, and a BMW gearbox. There is so much engineering around that, because what we're going to do, I'm going to have the engine at the front, but I'm going to mount the gearbox right near the back. I'm going to have 2 prop shafts. But of course, things like that don't just come together overnight. So we're going to get that chassis so it runs and drives with the Jag engine, all on air, with the remote gearbox as well. And we're going to get all that made before I build the body over. What I'll do, I'll get all that done, and then we'll cover the body in some polythene. Now I'll go on with the plaster, make a terrible mess, and then you know, a couple of months later, ta-da, there'll be a beautiful car. Basically, that's it. A lot of engineering, a lot of metal work, and then we get back to the real sort of sculptural creative bit. Another sort of medium tip Not a top tip, it's sort of like just passed on advice. If you didn't hear it, it wouldn't really matter anyway. What we've done, you might notice we've cleared all the parts from the 60s truck out today, and we're going to be getting rid of all these parts as well. I've unbolted every panel on this. The car was so nice, I thought, well, I can stick all the panels on eBay for like super cheap, make a little bit of money back. They just look, yeah, everything just looks too good to scrap. Although they're sitting here for more than 2 weeks, they will get scrapped. But I thought I could probably try and sell them super cheap on eBay. Same with the engine and box. But for as far as I'm concerned, the parts I want, which is the logbook, the chassis, the suspension, all of that, you know, for the money I paid for the car, it's a really cheap way to start projects. But back to the almost a top tip. Strip your car, and once in a while, you know, I'll be getting a skip for all this stuff and some stuff on the 60s truck. But paying a couple of £100 for a skip can really free up a lot of room and make projects so much easier. You know, you always put things there and think, oh, it'll come in handy, that'll come in handy. And to an extent, that's true. But sometimes just clearing everything out, moving all the stuff, gets you in a better headspace for seeing how the project's going to work. But it's also just a better place to work. So as you can see with this perfectly good car we've cut up, there is no rot in the sills or anything. Round at the front here, they're like the dirty end of it. I'm pretty sure this is a diesel engine. Lee seems to think it's what was used in Fords and Granadas and stuff, but it's a turbo diesel. And this is a pretty good engine. It's, you know, it's only done 350,000 miles. But obviously all of that will be going. We'll be keeping the brake master cylinder, which is there. We'll be keeping that in really good condition, almost as good as new. So that will be going into the other car. We've got some issues around here with this enormous power steering box that we have got to do something with, because as the wheel arches swoop over, then it'll be sticking out. So we've got to do something with that. So another bit of, like, you know, hard, difficult engineering-y, linkagey stuff. We'll get there. This car, they're all cut and knackered, but look at how beautiful the dashboard still is in all its fake walnut glory. And look, a beautiful JVC head unit. Pretty nice, I'll tell you now. But yeah, so tomorrow, we'll cut this, get it into manageable pieces, and we'll get it out of here. Right, and so, from time to time, I do buy bits of kit that I think, oh man, that is good. And I bought this, which is, it's an air jack. Essentially, it's just like a large airbag on a stick. I'm putting a block on it just because this car's already high up. But it just works so nicely. I link it to the airline, just turn the lever. And up goes the car. It's just so easy, none of that. And also, if you work in, you know, a small workshop, see, I've got a big workshop, but I always end up too close to a wall, and then the jack handle whacks the wall, and then you take that bit off, but you only end up with that little one, and you're pumping it. It's a nightmare. This is really good. Like, I would not go under the car. I wouldn't go under any car on any jack, but yeah, this is great to get it up, get an axle stand in there. Essentially, it's just it's a balloon really, and it's a balloon holding the car up. But I just thought, what a great bit of kit, and it was about £100 off Amazon, something like that. You know, it wasn't dear at all, but it definitely is going to save me a lot of hassle jacking stuff up. And then, of course, to let it down, you just let the air out, and down it comes. And you can be quite accurate. Trolley jack, it's always too tight, and then you undo it and it drops a bit too much. But on this, there is serious control. It's my tool review of the month. Next month and the following month there may not be one, and the previous month there wasn't one, but for this month there is one. Oh yeah, jacking with her. So we dropped the back window, so yeah, that's not the best. Maybe some hoovering. So on these taxis, it's really difficult to get round to release this dipstick. So my top tips is, if you just get the bulkhead of the car, you can just arch it back, and then there's just loads of room to work. And then obviously once you finish the job, you can just pull the body back, and it just makes it a lot easier. Right, so there we go. Just the bare chassis. Got to get the engine and box out now, but once that's gone, bare chassis, ready for the project that is coming. And it is just such a good chassis because we can lower this, nice and strong, tell you where the power we put in it, bigger back axle in this model as well, and coil spring at the rear, just so much easier to bag. But just a great chassis, great base. For pretty much any project really, but this project we're doing is going to be really special. So we've got it, engine is up on the crane, and it's about to say goodbye to this chassis forever. And also this chassis will be saying goodbye to diesel forever. Okay then, so on all taxis you get this, which is the power steering box. And it is always mounted right just there, right at the front of the chassis, and it's in the way of everything. If I want to make a nice sweeping fender over this, it's like, oh no, it's in my way again. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and move that, and we're going to see what would happen if we removed that and then put a power rack to replace this, and also to replace this drag link on this side. This is very involved. It's got like this bar and it's got the shock absorber, but I think we can get rid of all of this and then put some sort of either a power rack or electric power steering on it. So let's get the spanners, get it off. So then, that taxi is now just a chassis and it's ready for the next project. But just the sheer fallout from cutting the whole body off a taxi, look, in the back garden now. We have bonnets and wings, we've got the doors, the boot, bumper, a couple more doors, which weigh so much. They're the heaviest doors in weight. This is a two-person job to move one of these. Also, the entire dashboard there, still with everything, still with the fuse box, even the stereo in place. More miscellaneous junk, Crumple's own editions that seem to be on these later taxis. Windscreen, then all the floor, and all of this crap. Back seats, still got the jump seats in it. All of this. So, what I'm going to have is an incredibly cheap eBay store running over the next week to try and get rid of the body panels, which are literally immaculate. You know, if I can make a couple of quid from that, I will. But if not, skip next week and we get rid of all of this stuff in the skip. And then I'll sell the engine and box for a bargain price on eBay. And all this will be gone. But you know what I mean? I just can't live in a scrapyard. Okay, I've just got to point out that I did say that I can't live in a scrapyard. But, you know, you probably know it's my dream probably to live in a scrapyard. So, yeah, take that with a pinch of salt. I didn't really mean it. Do you ever have a problem of trying to cover up a dent or scratch on your jet ski, caravan, car, motorcycle? Well, now there's a solution. Straight in from KUSTOM WORKS Solutions is this KUSTOM WORKS sticker. It says, Q, I won't drive what you tell me. It's excellent. Use it on all applications and buy from the Etsy store now. Description below. Okay then, so that is it for another week on KUSTOM WORKS. Join us next time. We're going to have so much more cool stuff. And we have really got that 60 truck and also the big mystery new project. That is really, really building up. And there's a lot of good things. And don't forget, the meat wagon is drawing towards its conclusion also. And its crazy catering interior. So, some of that will be next week. Some of that will be in coming weeks. But it will all be amazing. And between now and next week, time will allow them to give them much and good night! There it goes, 840, driving off, back to its owner.